Hey everybody, it was only a matter of time, wasn't it, before Jeffrey Epstein was going to be deployed as a Russian asset. Yeah, he worked for the KGB. Forget the fact that the KGB was disbanded in 1991. Don't tell the British newspapers that. Of course, this was going to happen. And what's happening right now is a deployed, orchestrated attempt to deflect away from who Mr. Epstein probably actually worked for. Now, let's look at some of the facts. Jeffrey Epstein, a very, very wealthy man. How he got his job in the school teaching, we don't know. The fact that it was Bill Barr, the Attorney General, who was in charge of the investigation into his death. His father, who was in charge of the school at the time he got the job. Let's forget about that. Let's also forget that Bill Barr was working for the CIA for a period of time. Let's forget about that. Let's also forget the fact that he worked for the law firm that defended Epstein's case back in the early 2000s. Forget about all that, okay? Something else I want you to forget about. Forget about the fact that Jeffrey Epstein, of course, is a Jewish man. Very close links to the Israeli military. Check it out. Here he is with the t-shirt on. Excuse me. His long-term partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, also a Jewish lady, whose father was a man called Robert Maxwell. Who was Robert Maxwell? Well, he was a kingpin in Mossad. Some say he was the man who actually brought the nuclear codes, the nuclear secrets from France into Israel for the nuclear weapons that they don't have. So these are some of the facts that shouldn't bother you. Meanwhile, the fact that he wore a Chinese communist hat with a red star on it, or that a lot of Russian girls were working for him, as were Ukrainian girls, French girls, Spanish girls, Dutch girls, Portuguese girls from all over the world. But it was the fact that he had some Russian girls working for him means he was working for the KGB. Now, let's have a look at some of the deployed media. Check out all these different people, all these different newspapers, and all these different completely independent commentators who are suddenly saying exactly the same thing, that Jeffrey Epstein was working for the KGB. He was doing a honeypot operation. Forget the fact that the same people who own all of this media are also in the Epstein files. Forget the fact that there are far more Americans and British and royal links to Epstein than there are in any way to Russia. Forget the fact that people like Andrew Marr, ex-BBC, came out and claimed that he was Vladimir Putin's financier.
The FBI says that he was Putin's wealth manager.
Absolutely zero evidence of this, and the FBI never said it. So, before you jump on the bandwagon of this was a Russian plan, consider who would like you to think that it was a Russian plan. Just like it was Russian propaganda when the Russian government pointed out that there was organ harvesting in Ukraine, that there were biolabs in Ukraine, that there was child abduction in Ukraine. All of this stuff, remember, was called Russian propaganda. Now we see that it's all true. Forget about that model as well from Mexico, who came out of one of these parties shouting that they were actually eating people. Yeah, she was never seen again. But let's forget about that also.